Kata, and I'm really excited. I ran across this design. This would be perfect for a 3D print to just kind of sit there because his tail's touching the ground and everything. So really excited about this one. Welcome, welcome. Let's get to it. So I usually start with a sphere like this. I know it says 2023 up there. It should say 24. What's up, Mark? How you doing? All right. So you know what? I'm going to grab this base color right away and just start sculpting. What's up, guys? Thanks. Sorry, I was a little late. I just got done prepping this image. I just selected it I've just been busy. So I selected it the last second. I need to force the title. Okay, there we go. Okay. That should do it. Let me know if that did. Did that work? All right. So with this, since his body is so interesting and unique, I think what I was going to do is I'm going to make like an elongated sphere and then use the curve modifier to edit the body shape for it. Sounds like a plan, right? So let's just stretch this on out. And this will be his neck, this will be his tail, and then be a little bit longer, and then it'll get thicker in the middle, thinner on the edges. This is kind of a new approach to this. And I want to, let's do move infinite, turn on AccuCurve, and get a slightly pointier tail here. The neck's okay. Maybe even a little bit more with a larger brush. Okay. Something like that. We'll try to and see how that goes. And let's stretch that neck out just a bit. All right. And then maybe give him a bit of a belly in the middle. And I'll sculpt that after we get it posed. But I'm going to sculpt him in pose. Hey, Sneer, hello, welcome. Okay. And we have a gizmo in the middle here. I'm going to push it down to, let's do it up here. And it should put a bounding box based off of where your gizmo is. When I click on bend curve right here underneath the gizmo modifiers, there we go. So you can see that it gives me 2 orange dots. And I'm going to click on this curve resolution right here and crank up the amount of dots that we have, and then just start pushing it around. So we're going to go like this, and bring the body down and the tail out backwards like this. Something like that. And then with this middle one, I want to scale it up, make it a little bit thicker. And then I want to have this tail kind of crease, like crinkle crease. I'll sculpt that in here afterwards. Okay. And then, yeah, I'll sculpt in the belly. I just wanted to get that main basic shape there. Curling like this and sitting there. So I think that's good. Let's go accept. And then we can sculpt on it. And I kind of want to move it around just a little bit more, elongate that tail somewhat. So how's everybody doing today? Now it's just Monday. Turn off AccuCurve. So the week really hasn't gotten going yet. It's been snowing here where I'm from. But it hasn't been sticking, just wet. If I make announcements in the 3D character Discord, I can... Nice. Nice. Okay. So let me shrink this tail. I'm going to use move infinite still. I'm going to kind of move this tail down, increase the belly size. and I kind of want to kink it. What's up, Howie? Hello from very wet Los Angeles. I've heard about that. Is it raining pretty good down there? Okay, as you can see, my mesh is kind of messed up. So before we get too much further, I'm going to click on same, because I want the same poly count, and click on ZRemesher and see what it gives me. There we go. Much nicer. Working on my final project to my portfolio, and in the other screen I see you. There you go. Thank you very much. Hello from snowy Nova Scotia. Hello. Welcome, welcome. It should be snowier here. It's not. Okay, I'm going to pinch right here, just a little bit of a belly line. Kind of looks like a worm. And then a little bit where his arms are going to be right here. Be careful with this pinch brush because it can get out of control really quickly. Okay, why is it not mirrored? Okay, not mirrored. I got to do that again. Rewind. And I think what I'm going to do, just to make sure I have it symmetrical, is do a mirror and weld. There we go, and make sure mirror is on. Welcome, Austin. Glad to hear you're doing well. Turn down the pinch intensity so it doesn't get too crazy. Okay, that's better. Okay, and then I can use some inflate that belly up. And inflate also has a pinching kind of a attribute to it somewhat. If you already have a pinch started, when you inflate it, it's going to continue closing that gap. I learned that from my buddy Mike Hoops. I need to call Mike. Haven't heard from him forever. Okay. I don't even know what Mike's working on these days. He was working on the Star Wars MMO for the longest time. Let's see. Let's get another pinch right here. I'm not going to have enough geometry, I don't think, to make that little bump back there yet. But at least I can kind of get it pinched and ready for this space. Okay, and then I can take the clip curve brush right here. Should be called the smash brush. And then I'm going to like smash it flat right here where the tail is sitting against the ground. Hey Abraham, how's it going? I don't know if I said your name properly, but hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me today. It's always fun having people hang out. Poly sculpt. Hope you're sculpting along with me. Thanks, Hugo. Yeah, it's Alexander Cade is one of my favorite concept artists of late. Has some really, really good stuff. I've sculpted a handful of his concepts. They're really fun and smooth and clean. All right, let's block in his head. I'm gonna do it in two parts. I'm gonna do probably three parts, maybe. His cranium and then his nose here. I'm gonna try and think about how I want to do that. Okay, let's just get a sphere going. You know, I need to get some music going. I'm listening to nothing. Okay, you guys can't hear that, right? Very good. All right. I'm trying to finish up a different project and figure out if linking a scene in Blender does any good for you, since it's not hideable. I don't know what you mean by that. Are you talking about light linking or linking between ZBrush? Oh, no worries. Yeah, just so you know, this is Maxon's official streaming channel, so I like to keep the conversation on Maxon products, understandably. Okay. It's about the size. And I do have a YouTube channel of my own. It's called the 3D Character Workshop YouTube channel. I'm wanting to do some more live streams over there as soon as I can figure out how that would work. I'm working with Neil trying to figure that out. I don't know why it's so easy to go live here, and I just don't. I need to go live over there more. But when I do, I'm going to talk about more other software as well as ZBrush. So if you're interested, take a look at 3D Character Workshop on YouTube. I do have some videos up there, various trainings. You can check it out. So scalping are even the right projects. I'm looking things up. Oh, sculpting, got you. Okay. Like more of a general thing. Thanks, Neil. Okay, so with this head, I think I'm going to duplicate this sphere. And how you can do that, an easy way is just to mask it off, reset your gizmo, hold down Control, and just drag it down. And that'll make a new one. But when it does, it's going to put it in the exact same poly group as whatever you copied it from. So if you want to put it in a different poly group, I just hold down Control and tap on the background, and it will invert the mask. And I hit Control W, and it will put that object in its own poly group. And then you have to remask it again, just to make sure you're not editing something you don't want to. And then I'm going to take this clip curve brush. I think I still have it selected, and just kind of clip this off like this, and then just kind of shape it. Turn off mirroring for a second, center my gizmo, turn it back on. Now I can scale it on its own axis. Okay, let's do inflate. Kind of inflate this nose here, and then shift, smooth this down. So it kind of starts to get into that shape a little bit more. Let's do move with some AccuCurve and make it pointy, and then drop that point down in AccuCurve and start to make the bottom of that lip shape. So pull this down, this up. Okay, and then the side of it's going to come up over here. Okay, it's looking like a bird. Okay, I'm going to make his head narrower. And I want to make sure I get this centered. So if you hit this, go to unmasked mesh center, if you have symmetry turned on, it's going to stick it in the middle of the half of the object. So if you want it to be actually in the middle of the object, you have to turn off symmetry for a second. Hit that button again, and it will put it right in the middle. And then make sure you turn symmetry back on. Hey, Tattoon, how are you? Watching Justin Marshall's old Mare video from Digital Tutors. Man, it's probably, how old is that? It's probably still valid, though. That's one program I've never used is Houdini. Oh, you said Mari, and I said Houdini. I haven't used Mari either. Same. Okay. For this, I'm going to break it off of here, split hidden, so it's in its own subtool, because I want to Z-remesh just that and move it around. I always forget, Neil, I forget that I can Z-remesh this without doing that. I'm not used to it still, but okay, I'm going to apply this, though, this dynamic subdivision. And then delete lower gives us more geometry for the Z-remesh to stick to. And then I can also start to pull it outwards. I can turn on transparency. That is one good thing of being able to put your subtool or your object into its own subtool. Then you can turn on transparency and see through the other objects. And now I can go edit this out and make it kind of curl up to be that mouth bit. He's kind of smiling. This goes lower. And we can go ahead and pull this up. Sometimes I like to do that. Just kind of pull up a bit in between the eyes, and it kind of makes, it reminds me of Daffy Duck, if you ever watched those old Daffy Duck cartoons, where Elmer Fudd shoots him and his bill goes spinning around his head, and it's kind of shaped like this, like up in the middle like this. Funny. Okay, this goes way back on the side of his head. Pull that even more. And then his lower lip comes out further. So we'll make some adjustments here. Probably too far. Yeah, I think I have, what, 4 or 5 old tutorials up on Digital Tutors, which is now Pluralsight. It's where most people kind of heard of me when I first started to make tutorials. That was fun. I kind of have to thank them for that. Okay, so now I'm going to select this one. We might as well fill it with the color. Yeah, that spinning bill. When aiming for accurate deformation in the knee and elbow regions, would you recommend using Z-remesher, or is... no, I've gotten good bends out of Z-remeshed meshes. You don't have to go in there and retop by hand. I mean, it depends on what your end goal is, right? So if you're like making it for 3D printing, then it's not a big deal to just use a Z-remeshed mesh. But if your end goal is like for a game character, then that's a different story, and you're going to be eventually retopping anyway. So at that point, you know, you got to ask yourself, do I want to just retopologize it because I'm going to have to eventually in the end anyway, or does it matter, you know? Okay. So I'm going to turn on transparency. What was your favorite Nickelodeon TV show? I would have to say Avatar: The Last Airbender. Is that Cartoon Network? I thought it was Nickelodeon. Yeah, I would say Avatar for sure. $100%. Okay. I'm a big fan of Gravity Falls. That was a good one. I'm going to subdivide this once and delete lower just to have a little bit more geometry in here. Making a bit of space here. I don't know if any of my followers are surprised by my avatar answer. Okay, with these brows, I'm trying to decide if I want to do an actual, I'll probably nudge the geometry around this. And my eyes are having a hard time focusing today. My old man eyes. Man eyes, mayonnaise. All right. Let's give him some eyeballs. What is your favorite Nickelodeon cartoon? I'll ask it back. Trying to remember some other ones. Is Gravity Falls Nickelodeon, or is that, sometimes I get them confused. Which one's which? Okay, for these, I definitely want to split them. Oh, Gravity Falls is Disney. Thanks, Neil. Neither is correct. That's also, I love it. So good. I think his bottom lip is out too far. And his upper nose is too long. Okay. Grab this and shrink it. That's the noise it would make if it had a noise. Could you give me feedback where I can improve? I can't during my live stream. But yeah, I actually have a mentorship where I give feedback to character artists all the time. And I have an online course where I give feedback there. But yeah, I can't stop what I'm doing really and go give feedback, sorry. Okay, let's see. Bum, bum, bum. He's got a little tooth. Yeah, just so you guys know, I have a mentorship. I don't really advertise it. I advertise it sometimes on here during my live streams. But it's called the Acceleration Program. And it's weekly coaching calls, group coaching calls. And we go over portfolios and characters and you know, we talk about careers and freelancing and all that kind of stuff. Basically help with the business of being an artist in this industry. Help you kind of figure out where to go, what to focus on with your portfolio, and how to make it the best it can be. Yeah, I typically stay, this is a workflow I've developed over the last few years. I'm kind of known for it actually, the block out method with primitives. I worked on Disney Infinity. I worked for Disney for 10 years. And it's funny, I didn't use this process when I was working for them. I developed it right towards the end. And it's interesting to see now everybody uses it and they make base meshes and stuff and sell them on flip normals and whatnot. It's fun to see. Okay, I'm gonna merge this down. Yeah, I started teaching it this way about 6 years ago, I think. Let's see. Let's fill these eyeballs. Why did I hit blur mask? I want to hit fill object. Why are you using this method? What method did you use before this one? Well, I started with just traditional modeling, like, because that's where I came. I've been doing this for about 25 years now, and I started with modeling with, it's called box modeling or traditional modeling with like, just nudging around faces, edges, and points. I used a program called Maya for most of my career. And so then I would take my base meshes from Maya and push them into ZBrush, subdivide them, and then detail them up. That was my initial workflow. But I also did animation, and I was a huge fan of Preston Blair back when I was in school. And Preston Blair, he would draw his characters in a blocked out way. And that's how I learned how to draw the characters and how I learned how to keep the characters on model. And one day I was just sitting at work and thinking about ZBrush and thinking about workflows, and I love cartoon characters like this. And I'm like, I wonder if I use primitive objects to block out the base body, if it would be a better method. And I also saw Michael DeFeo kind of doing it with one of his characters. And that's what kind of gave me the idea for it. But I can remember, I can almost remember the day that I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to try this and see if it works. Create a box model, but proportional editing tools. Yeah, it's kind of like that, Austin. Yeah, but in Maya, it's called soft select. Modeling tools and low density mesh. Yep. Yeah, I've used VR. Yeah, I've played with it quite a bit, actually. I have a Quest. Yeah, it's fun. It's a little too fast for me, for my taste. And what that means is, like, it feels like you're sculpting with shaving cream. It's really fast. And like with ZBrush, it's very subtle. Like I can do subtle movements, and that's what I prefer. Okay. Now that I have that kind of blocked out, I'm going to do the arms. Thanks, Neil. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if you're interested in the acceleration program, if you head on over to 3D Character Workshop, there's a contact button. You can just send me an email. I can tell you more about it. Oh, hey. K9, how's it going? I'm glad you could catch me live. Do you recommend some dailies or something, how to improve sculpting? I recommend blocking out characters and learning proportions and anatomy first. That's my recommendation. Because the block out is like 75% of the work. And if you get that right, then it's like the cake. And then the frosting will look good if the cake is good, right? Yeah, if your proportions are off, there's no amount of detail or texture work or anything like that that's going to fix it. That's why I take my time on this stage and make sure my proportions are correct, or as correct as I can make them anyway. Okay. guy's interesting because he's got a very short upper limb and then a long lower limb. Which is fun, but it doesn't really function as an arm very well. Okay, another thing you can do, see how all these are in the same poly group. You can click on auto groups, and that will put each piece into its own group, but it will not respect symmetry. So now you do a mirror and weld, and now that gets your symmetry back. And shout out to my buddy Steve James for showing me that. Steve, if you're watching, how's it going? Sometimes he drops in and just kind of lurks in the background. Steve James, he does some fantastic stylized cartoon girls. You can follow him on his Twitter. Can't remember his Twitter, if it's the Shoe King or if it's Steve James. After learning ZBrush tools, should I focus on mastering anatomy or just sculpting? Anatomy. So that's because anatomy goes along with proportion. It's kind of the same thing. Anatomy is muscle proportion or muscle blockouts. I need to know how to coordinate the things to make sure the shapes are shaped the way I want. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with box modeling either. I mean, that's the way I did it for 15 years before I learned how to sculpt. But this now makes more sense to me to do it this way, so that's why I do it this way. And could I box model this? Sure. Thanks, Neil. And sometimes I actually miss box modeling because you're kind of making the low resolution mesh while you're modeling, right? Is there any difference if you want to prepare these models for animation? Because I see that you are now doing them in this pose. Yeah, this would not be a rigged character for motion. This is, I'm sculpting it in pose for like 3D print or something like that. If I was to make this for animation, I would make it more of a neutral pose for rigging. How would you go about doing fur on this character? I wouldn't put fur on this guy. I don't think he has fur. I think it's like a dinosaur or something with doesn't have fur. If you're talking about the scales back here, they're just squished spheres. And then, but to answer your question, if a character did have fur, it depends on what the target is, like where it's going. If it's going to be 3D printed, then I'll sculpt the hair, like big chunky sculpted hair. Or if it's going to go to a game or a game engine, I will do hair cards. And if it's going to television or film, it would be like a particle system. But usually on this stream, I do chunky sculpted stuff. Because my target is usually 3D printing or something like that. Hope that answers your question. Yeah, chunky sculpted stylized hair is a lot of fun. And you know, it's all about like reference, like finding good reference. Just find somebody else who's sculpted nice sculpted chunky hair and then try and emulate it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like combing hair versus sculpting, right? And like, well, the one I did 2 weeks ago. Here, let me just load it up so you can see it. where I kind of left off. I didn't finish it yet, but this character I did last time, you can see this chunky sculpted hair like this. That's just with my brush, this carve brush, and I just kind of sculpted through here like that. But I would do the fur very similar, but shorter strands with more tips and layered, basically. Thanks. Yeah, she's great. I love her long pointy nose. She's almost like a mosquito. Okay, I'm gonna save this as Alexander Dragon. Yeah, I did a mouse of his too. Let me see. Yeah, see, I've done one or two characters, some dragons before. Yeah, there's a lot. Let's see, Alexander Mouse. I'm trying. Some of them I can't even remember. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, this one's cute. I need to finish it. What's the size of my C drive? Isn't that a little personal? I don't know. 1 gig or 1 terabyte. Sorry. Yeah. So is my other D drive. Not really ZBrush cushion, but in games, do people rig characters from scratch or use auto rig? It depends on the game. It totally depends on the game. I've been using Character Creator a lot lately, and that's like an auto rigger, and I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. And I use it in conjunction with ZBrush, going back and forth, and it's just amazing. Thinking about the autosaves? Ah, yep, no worries. Good to see you, by the way, Tattoon. How you doing? How you doing? No, no need to be sorry. I was just joking around. It's like a pickup line. So, how big's your hard drive? Thanks, Hugo. Welcome to the stream. Okay. Let's get these feet in there. The thing about auto rig is you still got to go in and make sure it's weighted. Yeah, the thing about it's true. That's a true statement. You got to go in and make sure it's weighted, especially with clothing and stuff like that. But with Character Creator, if you start out with their base mesh, they have a Character Creator. It's like a CC3 plus. If you use that base mesh, then it will it'll automatically be weighted properly. It's crazy. I'll pop it open just to show you. I think that's okay. Because it works in conjunction with ZBrush so well. It's kind of like peanut butter and jelly. Okay, let's see here. I want to scale this foot up. And then maybe it looks like it's turned in a little bit more. Like this. And save data found. No, it's fine. Sorry, I'm whispering to myself. Pull these away from each other a little bit. Okay. So just really quick, I'll show you some characters that I worked on. I sculpted these in ZBrush, but I sculpted them based off of a rig like this Taylor Swift. I'll load it up here for you. While it's loading, I'll keep sculpting. I have to appreciate YouTube notifications. If they weren't late, I would get them all. It's about the right speed. That's right. Yeah, what are you doing? It'll probably be the Maxon, folks. I think as long as it's not competing software. Anyway, this is a Taylor Swift I'm working on. I'm still trying to dial in this hair. But she's rigged. She's fully rigged. Like facial and everything. And I just use the base mesh. It's awesome. And see, there's a ZBrush, like a Go Z link. You just push it over. And I'm working on The Rock, Biden and Trump. Yeah. Here, I'll show you. Come on in. See? Good old Rock. And then you can, he's fully rigged, so I can go wrinkle check, dramatic male, and then, like, this is fully rigged. It's not, there you go. Yeah. So, show the mesh. I don't know how to show wireframe in here, honestly. But it's a really good, nice mesh. So, yeah. Thanks. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't just do cartoon characters like this all day. I do some caricatures. This is scary. Yeah, it's kind of scary. I need to tone down the realistic textures a bit on him. It's a little too uncanny valley. Okay, let's get these hands in there. Hands, paws. What do dragons have? Okay. Mittens. They have mittens. Okay, something like this. When adding stylized details to hard surface models such as scratches and dents, do you prefer Dynamesh or subdivisions? I prefer Sculptress Pro, actually. But yes, actually, you're right. I prefer subdivisions when it comes to that. I take that back, not Sculptress Pro. So usually I save surface textures and surface details to the very end, and I do put them in the subdivided levels because there's so much detail that you have to have a lot of geometry to hold that detail. Everybody does. That's okay, yay. All right. Hey, Leonard, how you doing? Sorry, so many questions, but it's not always possible to have such a smart and skilled person. Would you rather start with animals or humans? It doesn't matter. I just like the, thanks for the compliments, by the way. I just enjoy the design. So it doesn't matter if it's an animal or a human. As long as it's well designed, I'm good with it. What say you, Leonard? How's it going? What's new? I still need to get you in touch with David. I need to send you his email. If that's okay. I need to show him my caricatures too. We'll probably roast him. Can I explain my preference for retopology? I don't understand the question, Shay. But I mean, generally, you want to have topology that can deform well. That's the whole reason that you need to do retopology. Z-remesh topology isn't going to deform well typically. So you just want to make sure you have enough geometry around your joints that it's like a dryer hose, you know, it's just circles going across the joints. In shoulders, it's a little bit different. You can either do it like an accordion, or you can do it like a cape, like your shoulders over the top and your arms hanging out from underneath it. What else? If it's a hard surface object, you don't have to worry about retopology that much if it's not going to deform. The face is the most important. You typically want rings around your eyes and mouth. Slowly getting my studio together. Oh, more retirements. Are they joining you? You should make like a retired person's studio so they can come and hang out and create. I've thought about that before. Planning on doing hard surface modeling for future live streams? I only really do it if the character that I'm working on has a prop or a weapon or something like that. So in my course, I teach an online course. It's called the 3D Character Workshop that I've been running for the last 6 years. And I have a handful of characters in there, and one has a sword, one has a gun. And I teach how to model those. But I don't do full on like car or mech modeling or anything like that. I leave that to the people that do that more. Leonard, that's true. Okay, let's do auto groups and turn off local symmetry, mirror and weld. I need to make a single button that does all that for me and turns local back on when it's done. Perfect fingers. I don't know about perfect, but hey, I'll take it. How much should I charge for a single model? That's too broad of a question. It depends on what it's used for, how detailed it is. Yeah, there's a million questions to ask to give you a straight answer on that. Sorry. It also depends on like where the company is that's asking for the character. That will change the price. Like you can get a lot more for a company in the UK or the US than you can in say India or something. I don't know how to program. Okay. That works, I think. Yep, your skill level, how soon they need it. There's so many factors. There's like a bajillion factors involved. What the company's budget is. How many characters they need. If it's going to be rigged, yeah. If it needs textured. If it's going to have hair or clothes or hard surface or I wish there was a single answer for that question. you plan to do more streams with the character workshop workflow? I do. On my channel, not here, because Character Creator is not a Maxon product, and this is Maxon's official channel, so they want me to just talk about Maxon products, which is understandable. But over on my channel, eventually, I'd like to stream more and cover other software as well. And my other channel is 3D Character Workshop on YouTube. Right here. Do anything you set your mind to. You missed the bare hand. I'm thinking about bringing it back. I'm actually thinking about modeling my hand and then using that with my caricature, my new caricature that I set up in Character Creator. And then maybe do a live stream, like a VTuber style live stream with that thing. That'd be fun. I don't know. It makes me giggle, so. What's your most used pipeline tools? It depends on what I'm doing, honestly. If I'm doing it for 3D print, it's just ZBrush. I can go from ZBrush to printing with no other. Better have a pinky ring. I need to get a pinky ring. That's funny. But if I was doing a game character, I would probably use ZBrush and either Cinema 4D or Maya, Substance Painter, and then whatever game engine, like Unreal, Unity, whatever it is. If you're to start your career in 2024 as a beginner and now possess a significant amount of experience and knowledge, what mistakes would you avoid? And what advice would you share? That's a great question. If I were to start out today, I would first focus on what makes me, like, I actually went through this during my career because I thought I wanted to be an animator. So in the beginning of my career, I was modeling characters because I was fascinated by it. I went from drawing to 3D modeling, and then I picked up animation, and I did animation for 5 years. But when I would go home at night after animating, I would be modeling characters on my own, like, for fun. And I'm like, why the heck am I animating? I'm better at modeling characters than I am animating, so I should just try and do that. And so I would let your passion drive what you want to do. Don't follow the money, follow the passion. And what I mean by that is, if you're really interested in modeling stylized characters, do that. If you're interested in realistic characters, do that. Or hard surface, do that. Props. There's so many different avenues you can go down. It's just try different things and see where you land passion-wise and what you like to do the most. If you follow the money, you're going to fail. Yeah, it's just follow what you want to do. Yep, and you'll get, because if you have the passion, then you'll want to practice. And if you practice, you're going to get better, right? You've heard it time and time again. It's the same old thing with like musical instruments, or just trying to get better at anything. I mean, PewDiePie, the streamer, YouTuber streamer guy, he's like, I just drew every day for the last 100 days. And he showed his drawings before he did that, and after he did that, he was passionate about it. And after 100 days, he improved substantially, So if you are into wanting to learn how to do stylized characters, what I've said before is practice blocking out characters. Don't stop yourself from moving on after blocking it out. Like don't take it too much further than this. And then do another one. And then do another one. And that's how you get better. Yeah, if you take it all the way to like rendering and texturing and all that kind of stuff, that part is fun, but it's also it's an easy way to get yourself discouraged because you're putting frosting on a bad cake. So stop at the cake, don't put the frosting on, and make another cake. Let's see. Thanks for playing CC4 industry standard with ZBrush. Not yet, but I think it'll get there. Does Disney use ZBrush or Maya in their workflow? Yes, they do. They have their own proprietary plugins, but I know for a fact that they use both Maya and ZBrush. Yep, you're welcome. You are welcome. And that's not to pitch again, but that's kind of the stuff I talk about in my mentor, in my group coaching. So again, if you're interested, just go to my website and send me an email, and I can tell you more about it. Yep. So if you want, just go to 3D Character Workshop. There's a contact. Just send me a contact, and I can. Or if you're in my course already and you're in my Discord channel already, you can just send me a DM, and I can tell you about it there. Okay. And I'll just tell you now, it's not compared to my course cost. Like, I teach an online course. My online course is always under $1,000, but my mentor group coaching is not. It's way cheaper than going to like a university or a technical school or something like that, but it's more than my course. So don't be surprised by that, because it's a year's worth of group coaching. Hey, what's up, Jerome? How you doing? Oh, you got to go. You missed this last week. Oh, no worries, no worries. Thanks for dropping in. Always good to hear from you. Tend to get sidetracked from blocking out basic shapes to retopology and UV mapping. Yeah, exactly. I mean, all of that, it should come at the end. You know, you need to get really, really good at blocking out characters. And that's kind of like when you're learning how to play a musical instrument. You have to get really good at the basics before you can play a solo, for example, right? And I don't think there's another scale down here. I'll just put this one up by his head. Whoops. Yeah, I often compare learning this stuff because it's an art form, and playing a musical instrument is an art form. And it's very similar. Like, the amount that you have to practice is very similar. This stuff can kind of be deceiving. I make it look semi-easy, and once you get in there and you realize that it's not as easy as it looks, and you'll realize that it's going to take a lot of practice and time. Hey, Cameron, how you doing? Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You know, teaching is a passion that I found like accidentally later on after I did some of those digital tutor tutorials. That's when I found out that I was okay at it. And I haven't looked back since then. And, you know, there's been a lot of my students that have actually gotten work in the industry. And that is something that I was not expecting at all. I wasn't thinking about that at the time when I was making the training, you know. I was just making it to help people learn the stuff. I wasn't thinking like, oh, these guys are going to take this information and actually get jobs. But it's happened several times. Good idea to block out one character in the start of the day and then move to other projects. Like, if I make it a habit and just eat frog in the beginning of the day. No, I mean, no, not necessarily. Don't put any pressure on yourself. But you know how when you're trying to learn guitar, for example, you're just like, yeah, practice guitar 30 minutes a day. If that's all it takes, if that's all the time you have during the day, do that. If you have more time, or if you're passionate about it, you're going to find time, you're going to make time, you're going to slip it in whenever, right? So some of those people that are just crazy good at guitar, they practice more than 30 minutes a day, right? And it's not about trying to do, I mean, you can set yourself up for that if you want, but it's not about doing one character for this amount of time. I would just say, just start a block out and keep sculpting on it until you are, I wouldn't say satisfied with it, but until you are like, okay, you think you've gotten the most out of this one, let's move on. But I wouldn't put a time limit on that, because the more you do it, the faster you're going to get. And don't focus on speed. Speed will come. Focus on accuracy, 100%. How much does it cost a membership? I'm a beginner, but I'm looking for realistic characters. I have a big passion for it. So my mentorship is for stylized characters, and it's not for beginners. It's for people that have the skills to break into the industry, but they're just not quite there yet, and they need some help refining and defining their portfolio and getting there. Hey, what's up, Nahanda? How you doing? I almost said your other. Thanks for dropping in. She's one of my mentor students. I thought your Overwatch Yada skin was awesome. What was that process like? That took a long time with a lot of feedback, but it was a ton of fun. Okay, I'm just going to kind of turn this tail in a little bit. I did the Zenyatta baseball skin for Overwatch. Is blocking out going to help my overall skill? Yeah, it's going to help all of your... It's like practicing scales on the guitar. Like scales and chords. That's like blocking out characters. It's practicing all your basics, your proportions, your measurements, everything. Like scales on a dinosaur? Oh, yeah, there's my Zenyatta skin. Thanks, Neil. Here you go. This one. I did that a while ago. It was a lot of fun. Okay. I'm trying to think about this a little bit more. The proportions here. Okay, sometimes I like to check my proportions by putting my camera in perspective at like an 85 focal length, and then just kind of turning it, and then I can go grab the actual image and just kind of overlay it here, and then just kind of see how close I am. And you can turn the opacity down. Okay, let's get it a little closer here. You don't want it like exactly matching, because this is a 2D concept, but I'm just trying to get my proportions. Looks like I need a little more space between the back leg and the front leg, or the arm and the leg. Those are too close. And yeah, that's the main thing, is just moving that arm up. And then getting his neck a little thinner. His tail a little thicker. Okay, I can do that. All right. Oh, thanks. Yeah, this is kind of in your wheelhouse, huh? And I feel like the nose is still a little too longish. Squish that back a little bit. Okay, let's move these arms up, turn off perspective. The reason I like to sculpt with perspective turned off is because a lot of ZBrush's functionalities will kind of break when you have perspective turned on, like some of the clipping brushes and movements and things like that they won't work as intended. Oops, come on. Move on up here. And then I want to bend that back more like this. That feels better. And then the head is, I feel like it's a little too big. Let's shrink that down somewhat. Okay, the way you shrink something that has two subtools, like I want to shrink the eyeballs and the head itself. So I'm going to grab the gizmo and I want to center it in the head. So I'm turn off symmetry, center it there, turn symmetry back on. And if I scale it now, I want to scale it from the neck. If I scale it, the eyes are going to get left behind. So what I'm going to do is turn on this all selected subtools. And then since this is solid, it's going to go with it. So now, there you go. Turn that back off and we're good to go. His head's a little smaller. I kind of want to pull it down on his neck too a little bit. Yeah. All right. Just subtle changes. Hue on monitor pressure sensitivity actually breaks. Ooh, I've never heard of that before. Okay, let's start combining these pieces and just kind of get it together here. I'm going to take all these scales and put them in a separate subtool. Okay, so it looks like all of them are in their own group. So I can just do split hidden. That's going to put them all in their own group. And then I can color them. And we'll do a fill object. There we go. We get the color. And I think on this gray, let's see, fill object. Yeah, this is the color I want. But then he's got this belly color that's lighter. But in ZBrush, when you paint with color, you're painting with vertex coloring, or polypaint is what they call it. And if you don't have enough geometry, then it's not going to hold the paint. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I try and paint it right now, it's going to look like this. Not very sharp. So there's a couple things I can do. I can subdivide this and then paint it. I can do go to Sculptress Pro, which is dynamic topology, and use that to paint. Or I can do, like, I can split it right there, the actual geometry, and make it two pieces and color one piece that color. I don't really like to do that because it makes it hard to pose and it does some interior stuff that I'm not a fan of. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge all these pieces and parts because you don't want to subdivide until after you have everything merged. All right. So I don't have that issue with mine. I'd say maybe try and reinstall the drivers. Yep, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know if you have any other issues besides just with ZBrush or what. Okay, let's see. It's got this little indication of a claw here, but I'm not going to put any claws in there right now. I'm just going to merge all these parts of his arm together so I can sculpt all these little bits on there. So let's do that. Oops, come on. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Hide all these pieces. Do split hidden. CamVed Pro from 2018. Yeah. Canvas. I've only used Wacom products. Kind of spoiled that way, I guess. But I've heard good things. I'm still, SenseLab said they were going to send me something to test, but I've yet to see it. Hopefully soon. Okay, so now that I have these arms, I'm going to do a save as and save this guy. Name it O2. Hey, Ika, how you doing? Okay, and then I'm going to join these together. But before I do that, I'm going to apply this dynamic subdivision level and then delete lower. So it gives me lots of geometry. I can stitch it like this. I probably will. That's going to give me enough geometry to mess around with when it's done. So in order to stitch this together, I just want to center this down here. And then I think this is centered. Let me turn this off and make sure it is. Turn symmetry back on. Click on this gear if it would stay open, and then click on Remesh by Union. That's how I stitch things together now. I never use Dynamesh anymore, because Dynamesh will rebuild my geometry, and that's not what I want. I know that when I first installed ZBrush, I had to uninstall it and reinstall because my canvas wouldn't even react to it. Interesting. Try a fresh reinstall. Yep. Yeah, or sculpt with perspective turned off and just view it in perspective unless it crashes crazily. Okay, so now this is all stitched together. I can go to Sculptress Pro, and then I want to make sure my stroke is set to adaptive. I think it is. I just want to check. Nope, I got to turn that off. I thought I had my startup save that. Give me a look. I use this thing called it's an official plugin called the Z Startup Utility. And yeah, Spotlight Project off, store, Spotlight Images, Sculptress Mode on, where is it? Remember Sculptress Settings. This is what I want. When I hit that, I must have, there we go, I just saved it. Okay, it should do it from now on. But that basically sets ZBrush up to start with the adaptive turned off. Okay, what time we got? Got about 45 minutes left. Okay. So I'm just going to test this. It's way too big. So let's scale this down. Test it again. There we go. That's pretty good. I could probably go even lighter. Yeah, something like that. So now that this is all stitched together, I can just go smooth out the bits that I don't want to have a seam, like the top of the hands, the bottom of the elbow, all that stuff. And I don't have it mirrored, of course. I got to mirror it and turn on symmetry. So whenever you do Remesh by Union, it gets me every single time. It turns off symmetry for some reason, and I forget to turn it back on. But it's easy fix. I just hit mirror and weld, and then turn symmetry back on. There we go. Hey, Monk over on Twitter, how are you? How is the viewing over on Twitter? I've never experienced it or watched it. I haven't watched anyone live over there. Okay, so this is kind of drawn a little odd. I think this is an elbow, and this is like a overlappy piece of skin here. So I'm going to attempt to no BSD BST standard brush. I'm just trying to get a standard brush here so I can just kind of work a bit of skin right there down this side. And then I want to pinch this together and this up here, and then just kind of have it fade off on the side. And when you are in Sculptris Pro state, you don't want to have dynamic subdivision turned on. If you do, it's going to slow your machine down. So if you're ever sculpting and your machine is super slow and you're wondering why, you don't want to use dynamic subdivision with either Sculptris Pro geometry, which is dynamic topology, or Dynamesh. Either of those two things you don't want to use it with, or subdivision levels. Okay, so now that we have this, that's a little too quick. Turn this way down. Hey, McBobbles, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. So the smoothing is a little, there we go. Ooh, I haven't heard this song for a while. It's a good one. It's Dirty Vegas, I Should Know. It's a great song. Okay, crank this up a little bit. You've joined the Scally Cap Club. Nice. That's your like intro to modeling kit. Starter kit. He's talking about a hat like this. Scally. I get these from Boston Scally. They're really great hats, but I have no hair, so they have a sticker on the inside that sticks to my head. So I have to put a cloth in between my head and the sticker. Pretty funny. That's good. Hooray. Now you can model better. Okay, so on this, I don't know that I want to attach his arms just yet. I'm gonna give him a little fat roll underneath his hands too. He's got all these fat rolls everywhere, which I really like. Did it again. BSD. But I kind of want to tuck it back in, like, let me try it on the bottom here. Let's see if I can get a better result. I'll just put it right on that line. Then we can just crease it. Because what I want it to do is show up in this profile like this is. Maybe a little inflation. We've had enough inflation, haven't we? Been modeling like crazy for a school project, doing spaceships. Reminds me of Benny from Lego Movie. Spaceship. Love that movie so much. There we go. Looks like he's got gloves on. All right, let's do the same thing with the legs. Yeah, there you go. Put a little Benny. Make sure you make his helmet have a cracked mouth guard. I thought that was so funny. I used to have the same kind of space sets as a kid, and they all, every single one of them had have a cracked like mouthpiece. Excuse me. Okay. Apply dynamic and then delete the lower. Just like rinse and repeat. And then let's do remesh by union, turn symmetry back on, and we're good to go. All right. Okay, so at this point, again, I could remesh it. I could Sculptress Pro it. Go a little bit lighter on that. There we go. So I can smooth this out. These connections. I textured those Lego models, so they really did. I laugh every time. Okay, kind of want to build this up right here. Use this fill brush. Then on the back side here, we can use our pinch. Pinch a little crease into it. We can do the same thing with the front of the leg, and the front has a little fat roll too. So let's do the same thing we did with the wrist. Just kind of put a little wrinkle right there. Yeah, that's looking good. Smooth it out so it's nice and even. And then pinch it. I like to turn my camera or turn the object to the side because I'm right-handed, and I like to line up because I do a better vertical stroke than a horizontal one, and you know, you only really have one good pivoting paint stroke or sculpting stroke in your arm, and it's based off of where your elbow is pivoting from. So it's best to make yourself more successful by orienting the model in relation to the arc that you can get with your arm. And ZBrush allows for that. There's not a lot of 3D programs that allow you to do a trackball navigation. Usually it's restricted on the Y axis or the Z, whatever's up in your program, it will restrict you from pivoting on that. But in ZBrush, you can go all over the place. And in the beginning, when I was coming from Maya, Maya is like a Y restricted world. And I had a really hard time going from that to trackball navigation. But I suggest you just kind of buckle down and learn it, because once you do, now I wish every single 3D program had it. Now this is just the detail brush. I'm just kind of slowly cutting in to the toes here. Got some unique, it's like one big toe. Okay. Did a little, sometimes ZBrush will do some weirdities. It's kind of interesting. Oh, I'm gonna inflate this edge here. Just wanting to make it look like there's toes tucked underneath this one. All right. Pen fatigue. It happens. All right, taking a little break for a second. So what are you all working on? Inquiring minds want to know. Some of you have told me already. Okay, I'm gonna give myself a little hint. Hey, what's up, Ashley? How you doing? Always down for the dragon. Yeah, I've always been a sucker for dragons. They just have such unique proportions, anatomy, things going on, like with their, this guy doesn't have any wings, but when they do, I'm pretty good. Just I missed I forgot to sign up for, you know, for the calendar, and then I'm like, oh crap, I'm not on the calendar, and I didn't get announced, so, and I was late to announce this one. But I decided to stream anyway. But yeah, so last week I took it off. It was good. How are you? What's going on in your neck of the woods? Are you still streaming once a week, or have you slowed it? Ashley is A-Cubed, is another streamer on here, a phenomenal streamer that does some crazy, cool, unique, well-designed creatures from her head. I'm always like, I always hate to say from her head or from their head, because it's not really, you know, it's like years of years of practice and referencing and learning, and it sounds like you're just pulling it out of thin air, which you're not. You can't see your screams a lot. Yeah. Nothing in my butt. I can't do that. I guess I could, but the challenge for me is always in, can I bring that into the real world with 3D, you know, that awesome design. That's where my challenge comes from, my drive, I guess you would say. I should try and do my own designs more. A-Cubed is on Twitch, yes. So if you look at my little, right above my head, you can see the chat. I'm streaming to 4 different places. Well, it looks like 3 out of 4 right now. I stream to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. How's it going, Justin, by the way? Working on finishing up what turned out to be a 4-minute project. Oh, product visualization animation. Nice. That's a lot of work. How's the eyeball doing, by the way, Ash? always have to ask. More got dramatic. When I ask about your eyeball, is that dramatic? It's more work than I thought it would be. Oh, when I watch Stranger Things, I wonder if you modeled the monsters. Nice. That's a big compliment. I always wonder that with Elden Ring. Had emergency surgery, didn't have Christmas or New Year's. Oh no. Man, now I don't. I'm sorry I asked. Oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry. Can you still see out of it? Yeah, that is dramatic. That's way dramatic. Sorry to pull you back to that time. Ugh. Yes. Man, that is just, especially for somebody who relies on their eyes for their career. Ooh, I'm so sorry. You got to run. Oh, well, thanks for hanging out. I stream every Monday at this time on this channel as much as I can. So come back next Monday. We'll see you there. So I'm going to open this mouth so I don't accidentally stitch it together. I'm going to mask this off so I can pull the mouth back. Yep, same Z time, same Z channel. That's true. I've been streaming on here for, how long has it been, Neil? I want to say 2017. Is that true? Oh goodness, I gotta do something with this. I gotta do apply the dynamic, delete the lower. That's better. Okay. That's right. Have you've been streaming that long too, right, Ash? Because you started, I think you might have started before me. I want to say. Is that true? You and me. Since 1917. 19. Yeah, 2017. Crazy. That's a lot of streaming accumulatively. I enjoy it though. It's a lot of fun. Usually people are pretty okay. Sometimes you get the occasional turkey bird in here. Ashley probably gets more than me. But for the most part, it's been pretty dang fun. For breakfast. Reminds me of Happy Gilmore. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No. I love that movie. Dang Chubb's passing away. How do you see all the chat comments from all the different platforms? So I stream to Restream. Restream is a third-party streaming service. So essentially, I stream to that service, and that service kicks back all the chat. And so going from that service, that streams it out to everywhere else. I think StreamYard also does something similar. So you can, there's a few different options you have as far as doing that. And that's kind of a poll I want to ask you guys. If and when I keep promising to stream on my own channel, but I don't know why I can never bring myself to do it. But if and when I do, would you guys prefer that I stream multiple places or just one? Like just YouTube, just Twitch? You know, when you watch people stream, or does it matter? I'm just kind of curious. Because I have that option, but at the same time, it's like, just like you guys, people are like, I don't know where this chat's coming from. From some other platform that I can't see. You only watch on Twitch. I love YouTube. Yeah, see, you're kind of answering my question. Just stream to Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. I can stream to, if I use StreamYard, I can stream to LinkedIn, Instagram, which is weird to me, Twitter, 2 channels on Facebook, you know, mine, and yeah, chat is split, and you guys don't kind of don't talk to each other. I'm leaning more towards YouTube, because YouTube, when you're done streaming, it's automatically saved and it's automatically put into their algorithm to be naturally found. With Twitch, you do not get that. You have to tell people when you're streaming, when you go live on Twitch, and you have to like figure out what to do with the stream when it's done. It does hang around for a while, but eventually it goes away. You know, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. So if I did just stream to one platform, it would most likely be YouTube. Hello, Jose, welcome. Twitch gives you better, it's like faster for some reason. Like there's not quite the delay that YouTube has, but you can kind of set the latency to be a little lower, so it's not quite the gap. It's like usually it's like 20 seconds, and that can be an eternity when somebody asks a question and then I answer 20 seconds later. That's huge. Yeah, for sure, Jose. And I think it's also nice to like clip bits out to do shorts with later on. Because eventually I want to like hire a helper to break clips out of there. Like I've been watching this guy. He used to work for Blizzard. His name's Thor. He goes by Pirate Software. I've been watching him a lot lately, and that's kind of how he gained his ground, is by clipping out of his live streams and making little clips. I just use Twitch on this stream so I can post links. That's right. Hey, what's up, Tolk fan? How are you? It's been a while. I use Twitch. I use YouTube to catch up on a stream by watching it. Yeah, 2x speed. Yep, I do that too. I like the Twitch chatting experience way more, but YouTube is better for visibility. Yeah, I wish they would marry and have a kid. That's what I would wish. It's like YouTube for finding the stream after. And I think I want to say Pirate Software, the Thor guy, I think he streams to both YouTube and Twitch. I want to say, I don't know. You Twitch. That's awesome. There's a tool called Vertical. You can create clips on the. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of different tools to cut. I can even stream vertically from my OBS to a vertical format if I wanted to. It's pretty easy to do. But yeah, thanks for the tip there. Anyway, so I go wherever you go. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Doesn't always turn out well. The offspring sometimes doesn't get the good stuff. Yeah, like my kids, my poor kids. They get everything awful about me and everything awful about my wife. ADHD. You're welcome, kids. Peter's Animation, welcome. Okay, this is interesting. So this is the only bit on the whole dragon that makes it kind of look like fur. So I think whoever was talking about fur, I think these might, I think I'm going to make them scales, not fur. That's because that's kind of weird. Or just omit them, I'm not sure. Okay, so now that we have, well, I'm going to merge these together and with the neck so I can get a much better transition between all of those. I don't think I'm going to merge the arms and legs in yet. I'll leave those split. Okay, let's see. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to use this, turn off symmetry, center, reset, turn symmetry back on, and remesh by union. Say accept, turn symmetry back on. And now I'm going to flood fill this whole thing with Sculptris Pro geometry. Before I do that, I want to smooth this together right there. And now I get this nice. I like to use my blockout objects to overlap each other to create these things like this nice little cheek crease right here. I can do the other side a little bit with the. This is my detail brush, but it's kind of like a damn standard brush. Oops, wait. Inflate this cheeky monkey a little bit. Vertical basically creates a buffer so you can set it for 5 minutes. When you hit the clip shortcut, it clips the past 5 minutes. Oh yeah, I see. Right. Like if you say something that you wanna save, you just hit the clip button. I think I would want it a little tighter than that. Like a little more edited than that. I don't know. Okay. This, I just want to smooth out this transition. I'm shaking my whole workstation. I have a big monitor up top. It's like an ultra wide thing, and it's like on an arm, and it's sitting there going bup, bup, bup. Smoothing fast. Give him a little gullet. Pinch it. I feel like when I'm talking about what I'm doing, I'm like, it's like calling my shots. Yeah, eraser earthquakes. Ashley, do you ever say, like, call out what you're doing as you do it? I'm just so much in the habit of it. It's just become kind of second nature because of all the teaching I do. Try to, but I always veer off to something random. Yeah. I'm there with you. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to actually turn the smoothing way down. And then I'm just kind of flood filling this because I want to paint it. And I'm just giving myself enough surface geometry that it will hold my paint. And later I'll subdivide this and then I'll paint that. But for now, I'm just going to get this lighter color gray on his belly. That's the best part of Ashley's stream. Yeah, I need to talk about more random stuff. Like, what games are you guys all playing right now? Worse if you're a student looking for a direct tutorials. Yeah. I always kind of just direct people to my actual course. Let's say you create the spots on the leg by masking. How do you make the selection smooth? You just have enough geometry that it can support it. I bought Enshrouded. I started playing the beginning of it, but I'm stuck on Pal World. Can't wait for release. Yeah, it's really good. I love the whole concept of things being enshrouded, you know, in like that misty darkness. It's really great. And it kind of gives you that spooky vibe, you know. It's cool. And I love it when it gets night and there's like creatures creeping about. You uninstall my games until my school semester's over. That's a smart thing to do. Smarty smart. But Pal World has me. It's fun. And I'm not really even a big like Pokemon fan, you know, that it's kind of sort of based on. Playing games isn't going to get me an industry job. Currently grinding retopo. That's fine too. Yeah, usually games, that's my pastime. You know, lots of people watch TV. I play games. Playing Diablo 4, but it's a bit disappointing as of late. It's just kind of grindy, which makes it a bit boring. What'd you think of it? Have you sacrificed any of your pals for meat yet? No, I haven't actually. I haven't even like unlocked the meat cleaver. I usually like combine them together to make stronger pals, or I sell them to the black market vendor because he gives money for them, and then I can buy better pals. Schedule's unstable because of random treatments, but I'll be hopefully back later February. Oh, well, I really hope that goes well for you. I think about it a lot. Sucketh. I'm sorry. Nobody deserves it. It's stinking COVID. All right, let's see. Mask lasso. And kind of come up like this. And back and around. So you can use masking for stuff like this. It kind of comes down. Yes. Oops. Yeah, I've had it twice. And I hate to say it because it's super duper rare, but it actually benefited me. I think I told you that story, right? Actually, I don't want to really talk about it on my stream because not a lot of people know about it, but yeah, what's going on with me and my health affects my lymph nodes, and it actually helped, which is weird. Okay, I don't want to go that far back. what time we got? Oh, it's almost time to be done here. How do you feel about AI in the 3D industry? I don't really have an opinion just yet, other than it's not even close to being there right now. Because right now it's just, it generates a pile of goop. My sense of smell became hypersensitive for a few weeks. Interesting. Read some papers about that. Rare instances of very specific differentials. It's the opposite. Yeah, right. And then, you know, people that are like, oh, thank you. Real, and some people were affected like by the actual shots and stuff. Hey Reaper, thank you very much. Are you like the official Reaper miniatures? Like the official? I've been a fan of your stuff forever. Rad. Well, welcome to my stream. Thank you very much. I'm a huge D&D nerd, and I love Reapers. I've been around long enough that I used to buy the pewter ones. I'm this old. Have you played Monster Hunter? I think, yeah, I've played a lot of Monster Hunter. It's great. Yeah, buddy mine got your Kickstarter, the whole pile of, I think, almost every Reaper you ever made. Yeah, back in your day. I think I still have some of them. Good old pewter. All right, I'm gonna give this guy some pupils. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. Okay. It looks like Gonzo. A little smaller. I'm actually going to make these like oval, up and down ovals. And then he's kind of cross-eyed. Not that he can see through this nose at all, which is funny. But hey, there it is. All right, I'm going to pull out his little tooth with the good old, Ashley, are you still here? Say it. Good old snake hook brush. That's Ashley's favorite brush. Oh, it's got RGB turned on. Stop it. Brrrt. Look how beautiful. It just works. I like how it's part of his upper lip. It's just kind of made like that. Now I can close his mouth. Just turn on topological 1.5. And that just allows me to adjust the upper lip without adjusting the lower. People have made insert mesh brushes that are full-on toothbrushes, like not like a tooth, not like that you would brush your teeth with, but actually lay teeth in a mouth that are realistic, and that actually works quite well. Toothbrush. All right, let's turn on perspective, and let's crank it to 50. Okay, I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to pose the eyeballs, the eyebrows, I should say. I only recently learned that snake hook is an actual real thing. It's a hook for picking up snakes. Oh yeah, that is true. Snake hook is real. Okay, I think his eyeball is going to poke through as I pull his eyebrow down. That's okay. And we'll pull this one up. He's doing like the rock eyebrow. Let's do the detail brush, which my detail brush is essentially the Damien standard brush that is a tad cleaner. Okay, that's good. When I say cleaner, it's just the default Damien standard brush has like little dots as you drag, like little sewing dots. And that always kind of drove me a little nuts. So I smoothed it out. Fun. Okay, I think that is where I will land today. I'm not going to put that fish tail in his mouth. Zach, you know what's funny is I recently had to model the rock. I'm right in the middle of it. It's kind of creepy. It's right in the middle of kind of a uncanny valley, but I'll show it to you if you want to see it before I leave. There you go. I had it up earlier in my stream, so it's still up here. But this is Character Creator, and I made him in ZBrush and pushed him over here. And if you use their base mesh, he's like fully animated. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's right in the middle. I need to dumb down his he's got too realistic of textures, and it's creepy. It's like that it's kind of like that realistic Homer Simpson. Have you guys ever seen that, where he's got like, they took his regular base shape and put like realistic human skin on it? It's just creepy. So glad you guys like it. Yeah, I did a Taylor Swift and a Biden and a Trump that I'm working on. I can show these to you really quick before I go. And just to be kosher with Maxon, these are all made in ZBrush. They're just in Character Creator now. So I don't get in trouble. But yeah, if you use their base mesh, it comes over rigged. But yeah, so here's my Taylor Swift. I'm still working on the hair and stuff, but yeah. And it's pretty fun because you can just drop motions on there, like this spin around. Yeah. Da-da-da. Yeah. So pretty fun. You can see the bronzer. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, the Trump. I'm still working on the hair. I haven't quite landed on a good hair solution yet, but I can show you Trump. He doesn't have his red tie yet. But I'll bring him in. It comes in with the same motion. See, his hair is wrong because I started with a hair that is like, it goes forward and then back instead of from his part across. Yeah, yeah, he hasn't landed on a good hair solution either. Yeah, but check this out. Oh, so funny. Yeah. Yeah, I've made him orange with these peach eyes. Oh, too funny. And then Biden is not quite there yet either. I'm still working on all these. Yeah, that's the truth. His hair is wrong, so it's always right. Oh man. But, yeah, there's Biden doing the same thing. But he's not quite there yet. He kind of looks more like George W. than Biden right now for me, so I'm still kind of working through it, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, Megamind, what are you thinking about? Anyway, guys, all right, back to the Z. All right, you guys. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And as usual, I give away my brushes for free, and my ruler file and the user interface comes with it. You can find that over at 3dcharacterworkshop.com right here. Neil just posted the link over on Twitch. And I also teach an online course. It's called the 3D Character Workshop. I have over 2,000 students in there learning how to sculpt just like this. You can join us over there if you'd like. Check it out. And then lastly, I have a group coaching mentorship that's a kind of a higher level if you're really interested in taking your learning to the next level. I don't advertise that as much. I only announce it during this stream. So if you're interested in that, you can go over to my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com, and click on the contact and send me an email and tell me you want to know more about the mentorship program. So yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by. Thanks Reaper for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Huge fan of your stuff again. Yeah, thanks Ash. Thanks everybody. And you know, I know you guys have, you can have lots of different things you can be doing today. So I really, really appreciate you hanging out with me. It means a lot. It means the world to me. So take care, everybody, and we will see you all next Monday, same time. All right. Cheers. Happy sculpting. Take care, everybody. Bye.